Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Level Quest. This is a brand new Dungeons and Dragons live play stream set in the chaotic and elemental homebrew world of Illustera. Before we begin, we've got a few things we want to share with you. Mostly just a general FYI about the stream, kind of a general trigger warning. There will be stuff in here about like body horror, addiction, coarse language. Other adult themes might be mentioned throughout the stream. It's not the focus. We're not here to like traumatize anybody. We're not trying to be overly graphic, but just we're not going to shy away from mature subjects. This is primarily a game among adults, and appreciate your understanding about that. Mental health is obviously really important, so take care of yourself if anything becomes upsetting. Step away for a while, and we hope you come back. That said, I am Corey Keeney, your humble, or maybe not so humble, dungeon master. I'm joined by a panel of fantastic players right below me here that are ready to brave this dangerous world for your entertainment. So you guys want to take a second and introduce yourself, starting with Dan?
Yeah, what's up, everyone? I'm Dan. I am playing Calder Sage, a half-orc fighter. Calder is fairly large half-orc who built his stature wielding a blacksmith hammer. He has dark green skin with a bit of brown hue and a stubble orange beard below a bald head. Calder wears armor that is crafted by his own hand and is mismatched in color as it was made from the scrap metal that's available to him. Different colors of black and silver steel and iron are accented with the poor man's gold copper. Calder wields a greatsword on his back and is quick to have it ready for battle. He's also adorned in a flowing autumn-colored cloak. He has a deep, raspy voice and can seem distant when deep in thought, surveying every landscape as a potential battlefield.
Hi, my name is Richard. I am playing Farin Destra. He's a halfling newsie, which in Corey's terms is trying to make his own news. Standing at a mighty 3'3" tall, he is trying to change the world for the better. By singing the news, I guess.
Hi, I'm Robert. I play Maxwell. He's moderately built. He's standing at 5'10". His frame is hidden like behind his really nice, comfy gray wool clothes and like huge overalls. With a large pocket that holds his penguin pal Pebble. He looks rugged with sunken eyes, and his shoulders kind of sag a little bit. He has a great mustache, a bushy black mustache with stubble everywhere else on his face, and then on his head is a cap to match his overalls because he cares about fashion.
Awesome. Hi, my name's Eric. I'm playing a monk named Orson Turner. Orson's a well-aged male human. He has really strong arms, but is otherwise a very frail old man. You'll rarely see him without his potter's apron on. He's a potter by trade, and while Orson is rather old, his emerald eyes appear young and full of life. He loves to soak in new experiences, and he's just starved for adventure.
Hey there, I'm Stefan. And I'm playing Theodoric Forrest. He's a half elf who has spent most of his life following the teachings of Droom, the closest thing to a god of justice, and he has spent a lot of time in the church learning the teachings and everything, but also spending time working on his farm. So he's been working his physical muscles as well as his learning the trade of becoming a follower of Droom. He primarily wears chainmail armor, which is well kept, but it's basically last year's model, but it's something that he's been keeping up with. It still is maintained extremely well, and he primarily prefers to use a war hammer as his main weapon. And he also tries to make sure that everything of his is kept nice and neat, including his appearance.
All right, awesome. So that's our party here. So we are going to dive right on into the game. So I'll start out to kind of tell you a little bit about this world and where everybody's coming from. So all of you, pretty much from birth, the cycle has just been build, plant, work, toil, harvest, survive a storm that utterly tears your world apart. Rebuild, replant. The cycle is eternal. It's been ingrained in you since birth, since your parents' birth, your grandparents. All of you come from humble backgrounds where the struggle for survival stings more keenly than perhaps others. And even in your short time on Illistera, many you've known have walked into Edra's light to meet their maker at the hands of storm, steel, or monstrosity. But you've survived through intellect, through careful planning, or perhaps sheer luck. You've dodged death's grasp to carry on another day, another week in this chilly northern climate of oppressively cold winters and temperate summers, at least when Alaister's capricious winds aren't blowing a storm through. Our story begins in the land surrounding and controlled by the capital of Thrum, the Beating City, an area curiously exempt from the wild elemental weather that plagues this region, and from your understanding at least, most of the world. Storms come and go, of course, but the effects are muted here. Even just a couple days outside of Thrum's walls, the violence of nature can be seen and felt with distinct clarity. And farther to the south, the realm of Kardok contemptuously enjoys even less respite. Perhaps this environmental grace is because Thrum is tucked against the eastern base of the Sleetshorn Peaks, or perhaps the wind is afraid to awaken the dragon buried far beneath the city whose heart yet beats, or so the rumors say at least. But the Thrum Herald and its workers deal in news, not rumors.
No.
Des, the city is absolutely teeming with activity today, nervous activity. Refugees fill every corner. Several of them are even squatting in the Herald's warehouse. Soldiers are racing to and fro, shouting orders and bearing arms. Just this morning, as you slid past a family of dwarves sheltering in the newspaper's hallway, you saw an old unsold paper on the ground with the headline, "Kardok Closing In." Despite the madness, there is some small satisfaction in knowing that you're part of spreading the Herald's occasionally prophetic message. Your delivery route takes you near the main gate, where the flood of farmers from outlying villages is still pouring in, when you hear someone from atop the wall shout, "That's it! Close it!" The creak of wood and clanking of chains follows as the portcullis drops, separating the crowd. What had been a somber yet hasty procession bursts into screams of panic. You see a mother attempting to squeeze a child through a gap in the iron. Two men press their foreheads together, arms navigating the bars to grasp each other's necks, a knowing farewell. "Shut the gates!" the voice commands again. Its owner is a stoic human in her late 40s, moving purposefully down the steps clad in gleaming steel plate, a feathered helmet under her arm. She continues issuing orders to lieutenants that rush away with what speed their bulky armor allows. The crowd, lucky enough to be inside the walls, vanishes further into the city, disappearing into its twisting streets, leaving only the sounds of preparation from within and pleading from without. "Arches to the walls!" This isn't cruelty, just a colder reality than even the northern winds that scream through the valley near your home. What are you doing?
I think Des would be shocked and he'd stand in his place. Well, I'm just nosy. I don't have much to do. And then he's going to try. Is the woman on top of the wall?
She's coming down the steps, like coordinating with officers. She's standing right near the front of the gate right now.
Gotcha. I will tap on her, probably like on her on the side of her thigh, because height. And I'll just look up to her and say, "Well, excuse me, ma'am, but there's a lot of people up there, and Kardok doesn't seem that close."
Your little unkempt nails kind of ting noisily against the plated armor on her leg, and she turns around and then looks down as your voice comes up at her, and she goes, "Son, you need to get back from the wall. You don't realize just how close they are. We can see them from up above, and we don't know exactly what they're bringing with them."
Well, these people still need to get in. What if you were out there? Would it be any different for you? Wouldn't you want to go back? Wouldn't you want to be in Thrum?
I would, and I would have made damn sure that I was in here. They've been coming for 6 months, And these people are just now taking shelter?
Well, I don't think that's very fair. A lot of people wouldn't leave their homes, wouldn't leave everything they have. You better open these doors, ma'am. Trust me. These people could help us. They could be so thankful for your help. And you're just letting them die? Not like this, ma'am. Not like this.
You can hear outside of the gates just sobbing and shouting and panic, and people are like banging on the walls. You can tell there's remorse in her eyes, but she doesn't quite budge on the topic, seeming to mull it over. You
Does
got
it seem
anything
like
else
I'm-
you want to? It seems like you're making a little progress. Why don't you give me a persuasion check?
Sweet.
First roll.
First check. What'd I do?
Don't mess it up.
It's loading. I can't. Is it never gonna? Oh, there it is. Ooh.
Jesus,
20?
that's a good way to kick off the campaign.
Whoa.
I'm setting the bar up here, guys.
She kind of she looks up to the walls, and looks back down at you for a second and says, "Come here." And she hustles up the steps. You follow her?
Yeah, I will make huge steps on these human stairs.
Okay. You get up to the top to the crenellated stone upper section of the wall and look out. You can see that there are probably there are at least a few hundred people sitting outside the gate still, and in the distance, maybe a couple miles away, probably within the hour, they will be upon the city's gates. You see an army closing in and smoke filling up the horizon behind them where they've marched already. She goes, "You're willing to risk this entire city for a few people?"
Well, if it means to open up the portcullis for just maybe half an hour, I don't think these people would reach the gates. They have families. Look at that baby down there.
She leans over and looks exactly where you're pointing, and you can see the humanity in her winning over the commander. And she sighs and says, walks back down to the bottom of the gate with you. "What's your name?"
My name is Farin Desja, but you can just call me Des.
You're gonna have a hell of a story to write if this pays off.
Well, I bet. Let me read the headline.
But buckle in. She turns around and just shouts, 15 minutes. Open it back up. As she does, you're beaming down there, right? You start like scribbling out notes on one of the copies of the paper that you've got tucked under your arm. You hear the portcullis crank again, and the shouting and everything gets louder and louder. And you turn around with a smile and realize that this is no longer an orderly procession. This is a stampede. And your tiny legs, as quick as you are not quite able to carry you out of harm's way quick enough. The crowd runs straight over you, and you duck and cover, and there are boots, and all you see are legs for a while. One boot cracks the back of your head, and you go flying and are laying in the dirt there for a second. And as your vision fades to black, the last thing you remember seeing is one of your papers getting muddied by boots, shredded as it's ground into the dirt.
What?
Des, will you please delete all the items and coins in your inventory?
Death to Stampede.
Orson,
What a way to kick it off.
Yes.
you've been on the road for about a year. Hitchhiking.
Sorry.
I told you it was going to be an intense start.
Yeah. Okay. Whew.
You've been on the road for almost a year. Hitchhiking, itinerant work, just living, seeing the sights. You've breathed the air of mountains and lakes, sailed on the Bay of Shield to the west, and even arranged to travel across the Channel to see the Great Plains. Your next stop, the Vitrian Wastes, a vast desert that is not really inhabited, but there's said to be an oasis there beyond beauty. Not much coin left in your purse after all this fun, but it was enough to pay for your spot on a caravan that set out about a week ago. The sand of the dunes is uncomfortably hot, with Droom staring down from directly overhead, baking the earth around you. Some of the caravan leaders have been visibly less than thrilled at your elderly presence on such an arduous journey. But a Cryforged named Spike has been kind and friendly. This might have been one of the first of his kind that you've seen. A creature made of metal and wood, crystals protruding from joints from parts of their head, just all over the place that hum with a dull energy. There doesn't seem to be any flesh to him, but it's sentient, and it speaks as any other person might. As you begin to make camp for dinner one evening, Spike approaches with a water skin and asks, "How are you holding up, my friend? It's a few days yet. Hope the sands have not found their way into your joints. Do they grind together as your body nears its end?"
No, I'm doing quite well. It is hot, but as a potter, I've spent much time by the kennel, being warmed, and my joints feel great being out and about. I was cooped up in that city for too long, and I just love seeing the world.
Which city? Where are you from?
Belvance.
Belvance. I don't know this place. Is it far?
Quite far from here.
He gets into like a bunch of really nitty-gritty questions, like what is the temperature of the water, and weird other little sensory stuff like that seems so mundane and pointless. But you chat with him, and as you're talking, you start to see shade approaching from the horizon, perhaps a welcome cloud passing by on a hot day like this. Thunder rumbles. Oh shoot, I'm behind on my sound cues.
A lot of sound in the city in this.
Yeah, this panicked crowd in the desert.
It's a large caravan.
Thunder rumbles, and the caravan leader, you hear under his breath say, "Don't like the look of that."
Does it storm much in the waste? I thought it was mostly a desert.
Not the kind of storms that you hope to encounter out here. A bolt of lightning arcs down to the sand a few hundred feet away. And as it does, you see this protuberance of shiny, like glass-like material, like spike up out of the sand. And the caravan leader shouts, "Shit! Glass storm!" He and several others rush to one of the carts and unfurl a tarp, revealing dozens of long metal poles. They start frantically inserting the narrower ends into each other, creating spikes nearly 20 feet long. Where is my lightning sounds? Come on. There we go. Creating these metallic spikes 20 feet long. Two men rush outside the camp and start driving it into the sands with hammers. A couple others are working to get another one out of the cart. What are you doing during all of this?
Spike still by me?
Yeah, they're like in a cart. They're in two like 10-foot pole pieces that need to be assembled together and then driven into the ground.
Right, but Spike the guy.
Oh, Spike. Yeah, Spike. Yes, Spike is still next to you.
Sorry. Spike, what do we do? Should we help?
How much can you lift?
Not much. Oh, man.
Well, he
strong arms though.
He runs over to the cart with you, pulls one of the poles out almost effortlessly and sets it with remarkable precision, like perfectly balanced between you, and says, "Go that way. about 50 feet. I'll meet you there. And he goes back into the cart and grabs another pole, hefts it over his shoulder, and grabs a hammer and runs out there with you.
All right, I follow.
Okay.
Or go ahead, wherever.
All right, you get out there. He starts instructing you about how to screw these in together. Can I get a I think just a general strength check, not athletics.
Oh, sure. That's let's see. Strength
Strong
is,
suit of yours.
Yep,
From the frail old man.
a 10.
That's okay. These aren't
Pretty solid.
aren't
Pretty
terribly
solid
tough
roll.
to work with. Between the two of you, you get the things screwed together. Then he has you hold it in place while he takes the hammer and with his giant hands starts just overhanding onto the little spikes on the side, driving it into the ground. The storm is progressively getting closer as you guys are doing this. You repeat the process, grab another one, and head to another section around the camp. As the storm gets closer yet, and you're holding this spike, an errant bolt of lightning hits the top of it. And while it doesn't, you would expect that it would blow you off your feet. But what gets you is the shock of glass that comes up out of the sand and catches you right in the torso, lifting you off the ground, and you just slowly fade as you see the storm.
My apron.
With your fading vision, you can see that like the center, what am I trying to say? Like the wagons aren't being touched. These seem to be doing their job. You were just on the wrong side of it. Will you please also delete your items and coinage?
Yes, I will.
Well, I guess I can assume what's coming.
Calder,
Oh, yep.
they're coming. The siege on the fort at the bridge where Belvance lies lasted for months, but their forces finally fell. Thrum's forces finally fell. You've been tending to refugees and the wounded fleeing the chaos with your mentor Vadius nearly the entire time. Trestle is at a crossroads in a more of a trade city, kind of a waypoint between destinations. And it's only about a day's journey from the front, but it's provided relative safety through all of this time. The news just came a few hours ago by foot, which means you probably have half a day at most before the advance parties arrive. Viari's temple is a simple thing, more a place to gather than a proclamation of faith. Its single large dome is bisected by a support wall separating Vadius's chambers from the other back rooms from the main area. Despite your protests, he's collecting any valuables he can find and handing them out to the few people that are still in the city and looking to him for guidance. What are you doing as he's puttering about?
Well, first, is it storming?
It is. God damn it. Too many pieces to keep track of. It is not storming except for inside your chest.
Both metaphorically and in real life.
Yeah.
Okay. I suppose as he's running around, I will very quickly try to assist him and hand out items that he's handing out, help him in handing them out while urging him, Vadius, it's time to leave. It's time to leave Trestle. These people must understand it's time to go.
Calder, the people can go. You can go. I will be fine. The temple needs tending.
Vadius, the temple will not survive. You know what I've come from, what I've been through. This town will suffer the same fate.
The town might, but Viari's embrace has always kept this place safe through every storm, through every fire. The building will be fine, my son.
In my mind, I'm just going to know that I will not leave Vadius here alone. So I will assist him in handing things out. And I am going to very somewhat angrily exit the temple to have a seat outside and gaze upon the sky for a moment.
Okay. You sit with him for the rest of, or help him for like another hour or so. Sit outside. He hands out what he's going to hand out. You see a couple people leaving with small silver lockets, other odds and ends of value that perhaps they can use to barter for shelter or food or whatever as they make their journey probably toward Thrum and safety from this oncoming horde. Mid-afternoon, a lot sooner than you were expecting, you see several riders approaching the town by horse. You've got maybe 10 minutes before they're upon you, and you can see on the back of one of the horses the symbol of your former mercenary band, the Brick Breakers. Their logo, that exact symbol, like a circle, a gray circle with a red brick snapped in two, trailing behind one of the horses. Does this change what you're doing here?
Immediately feeling somewhat sick to my stomach, as I know what's about to take place, I'm going to re-enter the temple, and I'm going to gently yet firmly grasp Vadius by his robes. Vadius, it is the Brick Breakers. You need to flee with the people of this town, or you will die here today.
And what are you going to do?
If I've learned anything at my time in the temple with you, it's that my life is better served with purpose for a greater cause. I will buy you as much time as I can.
Time is the last thing I need after a good life. But I appreciate it's one of the few gifts you might be able to offer in the situation as it is. He takes your hand, and you feel him slide something into it and says, I wish your spirit peace if this is the path you're choosing. And he kind of pats you on the cheek and says, should we meet each other again, I'll be in Thrum with the others tending to the rest of this flock.
As he leaves, I will exit to the I guess what would be I would assume is the courtyard of this town, and I will await the arrival of the Brick Breakers.
Sure.
Great sword in front of me, foot very anxiously tapping the ground, as I understand I am the only thing stopping this group of mercenaries from riding down the fleeing villagers.
Yeah, buying them time. Okay, yeah, you open up your hand, and inside you see a beautifully carved little symbol of Viari, which is kind of this like winding river made of some bluish stone. It's lovely. It's on a little beaded necklace.
I will place it on my neck.
Okay, yeah, you put it on and let it hang there proudly, standing with your sword in hand as your former troop approaches. They ride into town, and as you're standing there ready to face them, you see your former commander, Piro, a fire genasi, sitting arrogantly atop his barded steed. Just kind of look down at you with disdain and say, Calder, I thought we'd gotten rid of you. And yet you keep coming back.
I suppose sometimes fate does that to people. Stoically, with my greatsword in front of me, I've rode into many towns with you, Piro, and harmed people for nothing more than coin, but that will not take place here today. Turn around. Go back the way you came.
But there's so much more to be found the way you're coming from. And he kind of turns and gives a nod to a couple of the riders who run up, who start riding their horses right along or right up at you, like on either side, swords drawn as they approach. Go ahead. You're definitely going to defend yourself, I presume.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
As they approach, I would like to very quickly draw a line in front of me with my greatsword, and by Vayari's grace, attack roll. Oh God.
You have to be on your character sheet page for it to roll.
Yes, I am.
Oh.
It's rolling very slowly.
It is for everybody. 17 is enough to hit. I'm gonna summarize this just so we can get through the intros.
Sure.
You as they're coming down at you just side by side, you take your sword and just with a huge heft swing it and catch one of them along the chest as they're leaning down to strike you, and dodge out of the way of the other one as it rides past. And as you brace yourself to turn and face the other attacker, you just feel an arrow come through your chest from behind. And Piro turns around and looks kind of annoyed at this female dwarf on horseback next to him, and just goes, "No fun." And your consciousness slowly fades as you drift into the dirt at their feet.
In my last moments of vision, have I bought time?
You feel like with this, you've given everybody at least a few minutes to get out of town to find a spot to hide outside of the city proper before the madness comes.
As my vision fades, I just want to reach up and grasp the symbol that was given to me by Vadius.
You do so. Will you delete all the items and coinage from your inventory?
Yes, sir.
Theo, are you ready?
Oh, as ready as I'll ever be.
Rebuild the fort. Strong backs and stoneworkers needed for reconstruction. The young dwarven woman passes you by, papers in hand. She has the volume, but lacks some of the charm your halfling friend Des possessed. It's been about 3 years since he died. You're overcome with a sense of gratitude. Had he not convinced the guards to open the gates, you and your parents would have been killed, captured, or worse.
Oh.
It's evening on the second moon's day of Lush Green, which means there is no service on this cool early summer's night at the Sunspire Temple where you serve Josser Vikram, Droom's high priest here in the city, leaving you time to walk the room's streets as you often do. Even from this distance, you can see the lightning rod of Aleister's temple jutting above the skyline from half a city away, a testament to their power and a symbol of gratitude for the storm god's miracle that swept Kardok's army from our doorstep a few years back. Your eyes return to the ground as some errant trash drifts by. What are you doing on this quiet evening off from your duties?
I think with everything, whenever he has spare time or whatever, he would go find he would probably go find a place to sit near where approximately he knew Des fell, and find a chance to spend a little bit of time and everything like that, and reading the words of Droom, in order to just kind of process his grief, because it's because I feel that he also would at this point to be like, where's the justice in this? It's the one life for the many and everything. It's like, but the one life also was important and everything. And so as he probably would be doing, he'd be meditating on that and trying to find an answer, and trying, also very trying to make sure that whatever he can to still, publicly display the symbols of Droom, around him, basically just a fanboy, and everything like that is, to make sure that people also understand. It's like, well, yes, we have these new heralds and stuff like that. It's like, but they aren't the only deities that we should be focused on.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. The lack of justice in his death is pretty blatant. So you head toward the front of the city. It's relatively quiet on a night like this. And as you're meditating on these ideas while you walk, you pass an alley and you hear a struggle from the shadows. Looks like two figures are tussling. Something drops and breaks on the cobblestone. Now you've fucking done it! The swing of a blade unsheathed. Please! Too late for that now. The last words cut short by a gurgle. What do you do in this situation?
Headlong down the alleyway.
Okay.
Just run headlong, yeah.
Okay, you rush down there. Do you have your Warhammer with you on a random city walk like this?
Probably not.
Okay, I wouldn't think
I'd
so.
imagine that he might have like just maybe even like a small cudgel or something like that, but that's about it.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, you've got like a sap.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you rush into the darkness here. And as you get up there, you can see by just a little bit of torchlight, there is one figure standing over another that is clutching its neck and gurgling on the ground a little bit. There's some shiny, not quite glowing, like maybe it was glowing, but that's fading as it as the liquid seeps into the stone around it. As you rush in there, are you doing this stealthily, or are you like you're here for a confrontation?
What's going on? Yeah, no time for stealth.
Okay. All right, you rush in there and see this scene before you, and the fellow standing over the body looks up and says, "Mind your business, friend."
Just standing there, it's like, what's going on?
He's holding a dagger in his hand, and he says, "Nothing that concerns you. Walk away."
There's been too much bloodshed out inside of Throom. We shouldn't continue more. And it starts to advance.
As you
and like looking at the figure that's bleeding and everything, like, I mean, are they still conscious or anything like that, or
they are fading very quickly. There's a slash across their neck. It's unlikely that they will survive long enough for any aid to reach them. So as you approach aggressively toward this fellow with the knife, you raise your arm with your weapon in it, and you feel from seemingly out of nowhere another arm reach up and just lock your head in place from behind. And the guy in front, the smaller fellow with the blade, says, "It's a shame. Yeah, too much violence within the city. You're right. But we're going to need just a little bit more." And he drives his dagger into your gut.
dang it. Struggling. Full on, like, I mean, like, does the person who's holding me and everything like that, what's the weight difference? Can I tell, kind of deal? Like,
he's a big boy. How heavy are you? I'm not sure how. You're probably not that. You're a half elf. You probably weigh what, like 120, 140, something like that. No, this guy's easily in the 200 range. He's a heavyweight. You can feel like your body kind of sinking into the flubber around his midsection. So as he draws the dagger out in the glint of torchlight, you get just a little peek at this fellow who stabbed you. He's got this like wickedly curved nose and a scar across one cheek. And he just kind of grins at you and says, "Should have moved along," as your consciousness fades.
Last thing that he says before his consciousness goes out, "I'll remember that, and everything will be scrutinized."
Go ahead and delete all your items and coinage. Maxwell.
Yay.
It's
Yay.
it's been hours. Is this the right one? No, this is not the right one. Oh, I don't have sound for you. Sorry. Here, we're gonna go back to Orson's Storm because that seems appropriate. It's been hours, and you are absolutely exhausted. You've been at this lighthouse for over a year, and the night has never lasted this long. Something's different. Maybe it's the storm. The wind is blowing the lanterns out of position, leaving you scrambling about every few seconds trying to reorient them. Actually, there goes another one. And the one on the opposite side just went out. You reach into your bag and find you're almost out of pyre dust. This night is running way longer than you anticipated. Running over, you dump what's in your bag in and relight it. The soft, ghostly greenish glow once again emanating from its bullseye front. You refocus it downward, bringing a snarling, shadowy face into focus only about 15 feet away. That makes you jump back. But that greenish flame tears it apart from the inside as the lantern's beam sweeps across. Too close, you think to yourself. Pebble is cowering inside the pocket on your front. What parts of this rocky structure aren't bathed in green light are lit faintly by the full moon above, the goddess Imshi seeming to cackle with mischievous delight as a thin cloud traces the outline of a smirk across her face. There's more pyre dust in the storage room downstairs, but leaving the lanterns at the storm's mercy is a problem of its own. What are you doing here?
I'm gonna take Pebble out of my pocket, set him down to the side of me, and I'm gonna give him a rock from the same pocket, cast light on it, and I'm gonna say, Pebble, run downstairs and get some pyre dust and bring it up as fast as possible, please.
He is using both of his flippers to kind of hold this rock and looks up at you and turns around and starts waddling toward the stairs. Not sure how successful this is going to be, but desperate times, as they say. You stay up trying to man these lanterns. There's one on each cardinal point, each of them facing about. You can hear the snarling and the whispers creeping up from down below, as usual. Another one of the lanterns goes out. A few minutes later, a second one does. You've only got 2 left, and the shadows are crawling and inching their way up the side of the tower. Are you going to stay, or you want to go try to help Pebble?
I'm gonna light. I'm just gonna try to get one more creature down.
Okay.
And run downstairs to the storage room where Pebble's at.
Okay, you do. You grab the closest lantern, swing the beam across, and kind of like cut a swath through the shadows for a second. The greenish flame trailing behind, almost like a glow stick at night. And then rush downstairs trying to find your little penguin friend, who is in the right area, but with everything that with the latches, with the crates, he's unable and too small to get at the stuff that you're looking for. You help him pull another small pouch of this dust out of the storage crate when you hear this rocketing as something big crashes into the upper part of the lighthouse. You can hear it wrenching the metal up near the top at the walkway, and the sound grows a little bit more uncomfortably close as it seems to enter inside of the place. What are you doing now?
I'm gonna lock the door, and I'm gonna say to Pebble, I'm just gonna pick Pebble up, and I'm gonna be like, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna put him in my pocket, cover up the light so that it can't, or I'm gonna hold the light actually.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hold a little bit of just the pyre dust and see what happens.
Okay. All right. You stand against the far wall as the locked door, keeping your eyes on the locked door. This, whatever it is, you can hear thumping down the stairs. It kind of catches you off guard how bodily these things are. You know, that you've never gotten this close to them. I always kind of figured they were more of an ethereal thing. It stomps through and you can hear it eventually get to the door. It kind of knocks against it for a second. And then it doesn't rip the door off the hinge. You just see this oozing shadow start to come through the keyhole, underneath the door crack, around the frame, and it just oozes into this room that you're in. As it towers up over you, it's not humanoid. It's not any creature you've seen. It's just this kind of amorphous, oily ball of goo looming down over you. And it looks malevolent, exactly as you would expect it to, based on what you've been dealing with here the last year.
I'm going to, when it's like approaching, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna drop the rock and put the bag behind me and just my hand out, be like, stop right there. Don't come any closer. There's a pyre waiting for you.
Doesn't.
And
Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
going to ready firebolt if I have firebolt.
You don't.
Okay, then never mind. I'm just gonna, like, I guess when I notice that, like, regardless, it's just gonna come after me, I am going to drop the bag, put my hand in my pocket, give Pebble one little neck rub, one last neck rub. I'm gonna take a cigarette out and just put it in my mouth. And
Okay.
I'm just gonna kind of go to my knees.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and just embrace it. Yeah, it goes about as you expect. This thing kind of lurches forward, like it stays planted on the ground where it is, and it just sort of like arcs up over and like smashes you up, like bodily up against the wall, and just slowly engulfs you. You can feel it entering all of your body, every orifice, and as it does, the world just goes dark. Last time I need to say this: delete your items and coins.
Yay!
Welcome to the club.
I have never started a campaign where we all immediately die before.
You know, I haven't either.
All right, I'm ready with my next character sheet. Let's go.
Good.
You guys suck at this game.
It's quiet. There is only white. Every blemish swept away, clean, limitless, eternal. It's always been this way, but now something changes. The tiniest blue hue peeks into your vision. A spot, a stain on this perfect white landscape. More of it appears. Drip, drop, drip. Raindrops on the edge of consciousness, color winking in and out. Consciousness, that's a curious thought. Were you always aware? You feel like you're spinning. All your thoughts are white, now blue as memories, but changing, forming. Each droplet of color lingers longer than the last, building on themselves, drying into blue-gray ridged textures, shadows, but above you is always white. A pinhole of light and memory of what came before this new sea of color. The blue-gray coalesces into jagged, unconnected shapes, each plate spinning even faster, the shadows of one merging with the next into a stop-motion image of a damp cave. The speed increases until the picture steadies and the spinning ends. You find yourself, all of you, standing naked in a cave. The stone is icy cold and smooth to your bare feet. Snow and rocks litter the ground. Unlit braziers sit to one corner, shelves and a tool rack off to the next, or off in another. See what I see. Yeah, the room here is focused around. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
the stream's taken a minute to catch up. There we go. Okay, good. You are standing in this circular cave focused around an enormous, like 20-foot diameter, hovering, multi-layered sphere made up of shifting plates, each tier rotating at a slightly different speed that dizzies you if you look at it for too long. A white light shines from deep within. You catch movement in your peripheral vision. You are not alone. 4 others stand but a few feet away. Strangers to you. Well, except for Theo and Des. While you've no idea how you got here or where here even is, the shared expressions of confusion and wonder suggest everyone else also feels awoken from a deep slumber. Your thoughts are a little hazy, but memories of your life and how you died return at whatever pace you deem appropriate. What do you do?
I'm going to immediately feel the spot on my body where I was struck with the arrow. Is there a wound?
There is no wound.
Curious.
I feel the back of my head. Does it feel like bruised?
No, physically you feel fine. Yeah, none of you have any notable wounds. Orson, you are not impaled. Theo, your gut is fine. You seem bodily whole.
I'm gonna take a step back and just try to like look at my surrounding. Just
Sure, yeah.
Theo,
The cave is, like I said, centered around this massive sphere. There is a small little crevice at the very top of this cave, maybe 30 feet above, that moonlight is shining in through. There are 4 unlit braziers in the corners of the room. 2 of them on the west side are flanking a massive stone door. No handles or anything like that noted. A giant rock is blocking what appears to be some sort of carved archway over here, and it looks on the eastern side there is a passage that is currently filled with rubble.
In looking up and seeing the moonlight coming through the crevice in the ceiling here, does that look familiar to me?
How so?
In the temple of Vyara with Vadius, the temple was lit by 3 holes in the dome of the temple that would often be lit by moonlight. Does this strike any resemblance to the temple of Vyara for me?
It's reminiscent of that, but no, it's not quite the same thing. In the temple, those are more kind of like on a like at even points around on an angle. This is like directly overhead, and it doesn't look intentional. Like it doesn't look carved, I should say. Like it's a natural gap in the ceiling.
Looking around the room very, very quickly, I see what I see. I see an old man and a halfling, and I'm gonna look over to the half elf, who looks stoic to me in appearance, and very sternly, "Where am I?"
Theo is not paying attention to anybody else in the room at this moment. As soon as he, first he does probably the same thing everybody else does, just like, oh, okay, and then sees Dez, and then immediately takes a step towards him, and just, I must have died. That's the only way I can see you again.
What do you mean? You died?
You've been dead for a few years, so yes, I must have died. This is final justice. It's good to see you again, my friend. And he kneels down and embraces Dez, whether he likes it or not. He embraces him.
Dez is confused at the thought of he died 3 years ago. To him, it just felt like he blacked out and never woke up, and now he woke up. And he just takes in the hug, confused. Yeah.
And it's at that point that he glances over to Calder and says, "We must be dead because, as I said, I'm seeing my dead friend."
What? Why are we naked? I've never.
That's the most logical question.
I will say Theo kind of he did, drop to a knee before he got closer.
Along the northeastern wall where the tool rack rests, there are a number of like burlap sacks and sheets and things like that could be fashioned into makeshift clothing if needed.
How cold is it in here?
It's pretty cold. It feels like you're in a cave in the middle of winter.
I'm going to approach that bench and pick up some of this cloth and begin ripping it into appropriate sized sections for I suppose what would be the easiest to make is some form of like loincloth. And as I begin to fashion one onto my waist, I'm just gonna look back at the group and say, "Dead, huh? I do remember taking an arrow to the chest."
On
Theo
that,
reaches for. I was just gonna say Theo reaches for one of those sacks or whatever, and he just rips out 4 holes like for legs and arms and just hands it to Des.
let's say on that rack, there are also 2 shovels, 2 large picks, a little bit of heavy chain, some hemp rope, and a battle axe.
I suppose I'm gonna reach for the battle axe and not knowing where I am, the idea of protecting myself and then surveying this as a possible battlefield, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna say, not quite my greatsword, but close enough to home.
Since you are over here, Calder, since you're the first one who approached this rack, now that you're starting to kind of get your bearings a little bit, as you're over here, you can see this giant stone to the northwest of you is pinning a skeleton underneath it. From roughly the waist down is under the rock.
Okay. How old does the skeleton look?
It is fully skeletal. Go ahead and give me a medicine check.
Okay. So as I lean down to check this skeleton, a couple of thoughts cross my mind. As I touch it, does this all feel real to me? Does it feel palpable? Do I feel like is this wherever I'm at, does this feel tangible, or is this like am I dead? Is this a dream state?
As far as you can tell, this all feels very real. The rock feels like rock. The burlap feels like burlap. You can see your breath in the air. Everything feels like you are in the real world.
Okay.
With your check, it's impossible to tell. The skeleton is old. That is for dang sure. As you're looking at it, though, you note that it is wearing some sort of robe with like a pattern of shooting stars across it. It's wearing a ring, and there is a short sword on its waist.
Okay. I am going to. What size is the robe? Is this a human skeleton here, or human size?
Yeah, human sized.
I will begin to remove the robe from the skeleton, understanding that we are all naked and someone can wear this. I will slide the ring off the finger, and also take the short sword. And as I stand up to face everybody, I'm gonna flip the short sword over in my hand and catch it by the blade, and just look to everyone. Anybody know how to use one of these?
Well, I had some experience, but I'm sorry. I'm just really confused about this whole situation. I mean, what's this thing in the center? Theo, did my headline ever make it out? I know I got muddy stomped. But at least I got the word out.
You know, it was front page.
Front
Someone
page,
else,
wow. My leg.
someone else took credit for it.
Well, at least something happened. Well, and I look towards the center. You said there was like a white disc?
Yeah, in the middle. What's shown on the map here isn't quite the actual size. It would be more along the lines of like that big.
Okay.
Yeah, is this like giant? There's a white light shining from within it, and there are kind of 3 layers of unconnected, jagged stone plates circling around the center, all of them at different speeds, different shaping. You can never seem to quite see the center of this object.
Well, it's quite interesting. And the door on the left side of the room is closed?
It is closed. Yeah, it is like a solid stone doorway with a well-built frame. There are no real markings on it. There's no words on it. No handles to open it or anything like that.
All my time studying, and all my time studying at the church and everything like that, does any of this sound familiar to like what the afterlife should remotely be, or like again, does any of this ringing bells? Like, oh yes, the floor, and everybody's naked, and it's just like, just kind of scanning in my memory and everything for anything that sounds remotely like this or whatever. So trying to place like, wait, did I go to the bad place? Kind of thing.
Yes, it's paradise. Everybody be naked. No, this does not ring any bells according to the teachings that you've studied with Droom. Paradise is kind of unknowable. You've heard accounts that go ahead and give me a religion check, actually. See how much we share here.
8.
You've
Not much. I'm just kidding.
It's solid paladin.
Yeah.
You've concerned yourself more with matters that apply to the world now, as you've continued your studies.
Right.
People have returned from the afterlife. There aren't many stories from them about what it was like or anything, at least that you've read. But yeah, everything you can see here, aside from Des being here, that is a bit of an anomaly, but everything else seems very real.
We feel our hearts beating in our
Yes.
chest. Can we feel warm? Okay.
Relatively, given the climate.
Sure. Yeah. Orson kind of turns to the group. My fine friends, gentlemen, I do not believe that we're dead. There is a skeleton here. I don't think there would be a skeleton in the afterlife. This is odd. I was in the desert. Where were you before this?
I was in the room right before Kardak started
True.
closing in.
Card?
I was in Thrum a few years after.
Orson.
Would I remember this? Dez's thing there?
Yeah, exactly. When he said with Cardot closing in, that strikes you as strange. When you left Belvance to go on your little adventure, Thrum and Cardok were at peace. Like it's always the 2 countries have always kind of butted heads a little bit, but there wasn't any active aggression, and you are from the border town between the 2 nations.
Right.
We time travelers? What? I'm going to turn around as Orson says this, and I'm just going to kind of hold the robe up and say, looks like your skeleton friend's outfit would fit you. And I'm going to toss it over his shoulder. I'm then going to kind of approach over towards Des and Theo. And I'm just going to stick that short sword in the ground, put the great axe over my shoulder, and I'm just going to say, I was in Trestle.
While
Heard of that place.
while they're doing that, I'll put the robe on, but also I'll take one of those sacks and the hemp, and find a way to cut like 2-3 about foot length parts of the hemp rope off, and fasten an apron of sorts out of this sack and just trying to make myself feel a little bit better. And I'm sure it's terrible, but sling the rope over the neck and tie it around the waist.
Yeah, sure. You busy yourself with some crafts here. The robe is very comfy and warm and in weirdly good condition compared to the other tools on the rack.
I have a question, Corey.
Yes.
In listening to Des and Theo explain, when Des, I guess, died or what he was doing before he got here, and Theo saying that he was there a few years later, do I know, in comparison to what year I know to be reality, what year did that take place, this battle?
Well, Cardok would have had to have gone through Trestle to get to Thrum. So Des saying that they were at the gates, a straight unimpeded march probably would have taken a few weeks.
Okay. So even that would strike me as odd. I died a few weeks before him at least, and years before Theo apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I must have died years before Des.
Wild.
It's
just
Maxwell.
like after Des or before Des. It's like
AD.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to do right now. Wow.
Maxwell is gonna kind of go to his knees again and just like reach at his like belly and be like, Pebble, where's Pebble? And like just snap his fingers and be like, Pebble, and just kind of like how you do with the cat to try to get him to come to you.
Sorry. There you do not see Pebble anywhere. It is still and freezing in this room. He'd be pretty comfortable given the climate. You are not. But no, there is no sign of your tiny companion.
I'm gonna head over to the tool like rack thing.
Mm-hmm.
And try to create like a little mini bag with with one of the bags or something, just with something.
Yeah.
Turn this back into a bag. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna like make a tiny bag and I'm gonna try to open it and I'm gonna close it again. I'm gonna open it and I'm gonna close it again. Be like, Pebble.
As Maxwell's doing that, I'm going to bend down and pick up a small stone off the floor of this cave. I'm going to walk over, and as he opens the bag, I'm just going to drop a rock in there. And, there you go.
No, you don't understand. It's my penguin. I don't know. He's probably on the other side of that door right there. I think that we all need to get on the other side of that door. So let's find what about this disc? Right?
Theo kind of pushes Des back a little bit, so he's like slightly behind him. And real quick question: that short sword, is it like a normal size short sword, or is it like a small size short sword?
Standard size short sword.
Then Theo will go ahead and pick it up because otherwise it would be a little too big for Des. Like, here, just stay behind me.
Okay. Oh, actually, you know what? I misspoke. It is a long sword, not a short sword.
Oh, even better. The braziers. Orson would like to inspect the one he's standing by. Is there like oil or anything that it would seem easy to light one of these?
Yeah, none.
A spark or something.
None of the braziers are lit at the moment.
Right.
This one is kind of overturned by some of the rocks. It looks like there was a cave in here or something that kind of upset everything.
Okay.
But as you flip it over, there's no obvious lighting mechanism. But you do see a small little phrase inscribed along the side of the inside of the bowl.
Do I recognize the language?
It is. Give me a second. Where are you? You do not. It's in some weird flowing script that you are unfamiliar with.
It says something over here.
Maxwell's gonna rush over and. Whoa, what does it say?
Can't read it.
Give me a try.
Yeah, give me just a second. I'm making sure this is what I think it is.
As you're doing that, I'm just gonna look around the cavern and great axe slumped over my shoulder. So, two things. Am I to understand that we all died and died at separate times, but now stand here together? Also, what the hell's a penguin?
Yeah, I think the second one's a lot stranger than the first one. But I think that is an interesting thing, and Theo especially. I knew Theo when I was I still kind of don't believe I died, but Theo and I were friends, and we ended up here with frankly 3 strangers. So I'm kind of confused.
I assure you, my friend, you did die. You died very valiantly and honorably.
Well, I'm glad it was a noble death at least.
It was a close casket, but you died nobly.
Tell me this noble story of death. Were you fighting soldiers, slaying a great beast?
Of course, look at these arms. I can't fight. Fighting is not my strong suit, but I was merely stampeded when the people came in that were seeking asylum from Kardok.
He saved hundreds of lives.
And Theo, you didn't see him as you entered the city with your family. You found out about it later.
Yeah, you would know the story, like, kind of deals what I assumed.
Yeah.
And just like, he saved hundreds of lives.
As I flick my thumb across the blade of this great axe, trying to gauge
Battle
whether
axe,
or
not
not
great
it
axe.
is. Sorry, battle axe.
Sorry, I've just been waiting for a good opportunity to correct it.
Thank you. Trying to gauge if this is sharp or not. I'm just gonna go. Huh. Valiantly stampeded to death.
Well, it was for a good cause. I mean, I think that's what the valiant's for, right?
It's not in the best condition. Slightly rusted, especially with all of the moisture up here. None of the tools on that rack are well kept, but they're functional. Maxwell, as you are looking at this brazier, you can see this phrase inscribed inside it. You're not really sure exactly what it says, but you can work out the syllables and everything. Are you saying it?
Sure, yeah, I'll say it out loud. Yeah.
Okay. As you pronounce this phrase in this this weird, kind of a flowing, flickering language, the brazier that you guys have set up in front of you suddenly just rockets up with flame, sending both of you sitting back on your butts. And right next to it appears a. Hold on, I need to find it.
What'd you do?
I just read this.
Theo, there's a fire in here.
That's a good thing, right?
What shows up?
I
Will
think
you
there is.
scoot yourself? Oh, I need to go on to select. That's why. If you will kindly scoot you back a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
This enormous roiling ball of fire with an apparent face sitting right in front of it pops out and just kind of looks down at you, Maxwell, expectantly.
Does anybody recognize when they were speaking the words out and everything? Does anybody recognize what language that was in?
No, nobody does. Maxwell doesn't even quite understand what he said at the moment.
Okay.
Orson kind of fell and he's crawling backwards.
It doesn't seem aggressive.
I'm
Giant
gonna
flame ball.
take a step back, but then waiting expectantly after for an attack or something, take a step forward and say, "Hello?"
Is it hot, Corey? Do we feel the heat from it?
You can feel some heat coming off of it, yeah. Although it is, I guess, yeah, it does. It provides some warmth within about 5 feet of it. Definitely lights up the room, and you can already see some of the snow around it melting a little bit and running into little rivulets down along the floor. Maxwell, it looks down at you, and you can hear in the crackle of the flames the words, "Hello, Master."
Yeah, that's what? Did anybody else hear that? That he just
Did I hear it?
You guys just hear the flickering of flames like logs on a fire.
there's no way.
What did you do? And Theo takes a few tentative steps forward.
Someone, and I point to how do I
Double click.
Double click.
click? Did everybody see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, I point to that
cool.
one, and I'm like I point to just the old guy. I'm just like, old guy, read that one right there, and if you can't, then someone else read it, because
All right.
this thing.
Name's Austin, by the way.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
I'll go running over there. Kind of like hopping, like something's cool that's happening.
This thing just called me its master, and I'm very confused right now. Well, wait a second. Do you know who Pebble is? Can you get me him?
What is Pebble?
Okay, nobody knows what Pebble is. Okay.
I already
Orson,
gave you a pebble.
Sorry.
Orson, this
Sorry.
brazier next to you that you're looking at, there is a little phrase written on the inside. It just says in the common tongue, "Flame on."
Flame on.
It bursts with a little bit of light. No giant fire creature emerges from it. Just a nice little glow for the room.
F.
Flame on. That's
I have
That's
magic. I have magic.
Calder,
Whoa.
as you are watching
Magic.
this insanity unfold, a burst of wind rushes down from the opening overhead, and you can see this elemental creature's flames kind of, and the one actually Orson that just lit up as well, kind of flicker into the crevices of all the rubble next to this passage, as though there's some sort of airway, some passage through there.
Okay. I will walk over to the wall. And does it look like placing my hands upon the stone? Does it feel loose at all? Does it look like something I could push or open? If I were to jam my battle axe into a crack, could I wedge rock out at all?
It would probably take quite a bit of work. This is it's a full-size passage. It's probably about 7 feet tall or so here. There's a lot of rock. Like from where you're standing, it's like spilling out into this room. I'm just gonna move him. It's like spilling out into the room a little bit and looks like it fills the passage. So probably would take some work and maybe some coordinated effort, but you guys can give it a shot if you want.
I'm gonna have the fire guy just like while they're doing that, just interact. I'm just gonna tell him to interact with the sphere and the disc to see if he can open that door, or ask him if he knows how.
I do not.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn around and look to the gentleman in the room with me. How many of them look physically able in my eyes?
In your eyes, I think Theo is probably... Maxwell actually looks reasonably fit as well. Des is too small to be effectual in physical labor, and Orson's too old. So you've got 3 good bodies here.
Okay, so understanding that in situations like this, oftentimes someone just has to take a leadership role. I'm gonna look to Theo and Maxwell. You two, help me move this stone. Air flows through this passage. I think this might be a way out. And I'm gonna start grabbing the stone and attempting to move it from this passageway.
Okay.
I'll start
Orson-
helping.
Orson literally cartwheels over to the other braziers because he's so excited and just like throws his hand over the top and says, "Flame on!"
It flames on. The room is very nicely lit at the moment, especially with the big guy throwing light all across the place. Okay, Calder and anybody helping him, can I get an athletics check, please?
Yes.
And I would
Not very
also
good.
like a Constitution saving throw from everybody.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
God.
it's getting cold.
I got clothes on. What you
Oof.
guys?
1 for athletics, natural. I mean, well, it's a total of 6, but then a natural 20 for Constitution check,
Okay.
Oh, nice.
First nat 20.
and that
Hey.
First
back to
nat
back,
20.
that one and that 20 back to back, boys.
Theo is a man of extremes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who am I missing here? Calder, con save. Okay, you guys.
Well
I'm gonna time lapse this a little bit. With your athletics checks, you guys are digging at this for like a couple hours, and you're making progress, but it's slow going. There's a lot of rubble here, and you're just piling it up to the sides of the rooms. It is seemingly the middle of the night. The moonlight coming directly overhead has faded a little bit as the moon is repositioned. Maxwell, Dez, and Orson, you are starting to get like bitey cold, can't really feel your fingers cold. Excuse me, Calder and Theo, it's coming for you too, but you're able to power through it for the time being. Do
Am
you
I
want
any warmer in my robes?
You are a little warmer in your robes, and the elemental is putting off some heat, which helps.
While they're doing all that work, I'd like to go over to the door and just try to like push it open.
Okay.
Nobody's tried that.
No, it's check the door. Let's move this stone.
You get up to the door. Can I get an investigation check from you?
Sure. Investigation. Nat 20.
Nice.
Hey, he's all flame on. Door open.
Open sesame.
Open sesame.
You push on.
Mellock.
That's a good one.
You give this door a nice hearty push, and it is not budging. As you're doing that, you're looking like you're straining against it, and as you're looking down, you can see that there's a small series of runes carved along the entire outer edge of this doorway. Yeah, it seems like there's a bit more to this than just a push.
All right. I make sure to light the last brazier too, in case that's the key. Flame on!
It is lit. All right, the three of you working on the rubble. Are you going to keep going, or are you changing tactics at all?
I'm gonna ask the fire guy to help if he can.
Sure, he can get in and help with this. At least keep you warm during it. Let's have him make a strength or an athletics check.
He has a stat block.
He does have a stat block.
In looking at this,
Whoa.
rubble in this tunnel, does it seem like the end is near? Like, can I see daylight? Can I see anything resembling the moonlight?
it's,
Anything resembling?
You don't see any light spilling through at the moment. You can feel the breeze pulling against you as the wind circles through this chamber or cycles through this chamber, but you don't see a light at the end of the tunnel just yet. You're making progress, but it's going to take more than just a little bit of effort here.
Well, I'm gonna take a break from moving stone for a second, and I'm gonna walk over and just spend some time dizzy or not, looking down these shifting discs and try and ascertain like if I have any idea what this thing is.
Sure. Yeah, definitely have never seen anything like this before. Are you touching it or just like looking at it? What are you doing with this thing?
I am going to take out the ring and look at it. Is there any what does this ring look like? Is there any correlation to anything in this room on this ring? Does this seem to be like, does it look like it could fit in any of, how fast are these discs moving? Can I touch them?
They're moving pretty relatively slowly. Maybe like they've got some momentum, but you can pretty easily touch them as they move by. The ring is kind of like an interlocking chain pattern with what looks like a decently sized diamond set at the top. You don't see any obvious connection between the ring or this structure or anything else in the room.
Okay. If I take my hand and hover it slightly over the top of one of these shifting discs, do I feel anything, or am I just holding my hand over a disc?
So you put your hand up kind of in front of one of these discs, and it sort of slows. It doesn't quite stop, but as your hand approaches it, its speed slows as though it's like waiting for you if you want to touch it, but it's not going to just stop for you.
I'm going to look back at all the stone piled up in the wind and understanding that I'm getting cold and that everyone's getting cold. I am just going to place my hand on a disc.
Okay. Yeah, they're all slightly reflective. You can see your reflection as you stop and touch this disc, and pretty quickly your vision is consumed with like a flash of bright white light, and you can see like you're cycling through memories. You see your first sip of wine, you see your first kiss, your eyes lose focus. It comes back. You see training with your sword. It fades again. It comes back. You see yourself praying with Vadius. It goes away. Your eyes kind of lose focus, lost in these spinning memories. Almost as though the contraption were also wondering about the contents of your life and trying to piece together a puzzle from fragments of your past. After a few moments, your concentration breaks as you step back, and when you look back, the plates are just stone again. And circling.
Hey, Orson.
Yeah.
Come over here and do me a favor.
All right.
Touch this, and I'm just gonna point at the disc.
What? Naked man.
The disc. I've got a loincloth on. The disc. Touch the disc.
All right. Slap it down.
It does the exact same thing. Flashes through memories of your first child being born, of like that first piece of pottery that you were really, really proud of when you were like, yeah, I did it. I've mastered this. Yeah, flashing through like key moments of your life before the same thing. After a minute, you kind of like have to break away for a second, and the concentration breaks, and it's just stone again.
Well, what are you guys looking at?
My life.
Your life.
What? Yeah.
I saw my life. There's
Can I see
something
my life?
curious about this
What if
contraption.
we do it together?
I'm going to. I just had the thought, like grabbing an electric fence. I'm going to reach over and grab Orson's hand and just place both our hands on the disc.
Des will also place his hand on the disc
Boy,
as well.
y'all is nuts. No, it repeats. As each of you touch it, you each get your own visions again. Or Des, you get more of it. Orson and Calder, your experience this time is a little less vivid, as though it's still processing.
Yeah.
Dang, I'm gonna be chasing the dragon here, fellas. Trying to get that first vision back.
The cold is cutting to your bones at this point. How y'all doing?
I'm doing fine. I got a fire elemental next to me. I'm chilling.
I will huddle by the fire elemental.
I'm gonna
feel it in my bones.
I'm gonna try to. Oh, sorry.
Just shivering.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you know what? I need to check something really quick.
Your bones hurt more in old age. Is it true?
I mean, yeah. How old are you? What's your name?
I think
I'm Calder.
the elemental actually would have disappeared after about an hour.
I read the inscription again when he disappears.
It does not function again.
Wasted an elemental.
Flame on. Where did he get? He was just standing. Maybe try to touch another disc. I'll try to touch another disc. And I'm gonna touch. There's 3. You said 3 discs?
There are 3 layers of discs. Each one has like 100 or 200. It's hard to count them as they're all moving about.
I'll touch a different layer of discs, I guess.
As you try to reach past the first layer of stone discs, they don't stop for you as you try to reach past them. So like you reach in between a gap, and another disc eventually will come, and it just kind of pushes your hand as it keeps cycling about constantly.
Like it doesn't even want me to touch it.
Having seen Orson in inspecting this door, I'm gonna walk over. Do the runes mean anything to me in looking at this? I'm starting to understand, like, I've been in many situations like this in my life, and if we don't find a way out of here, not the discs and the room and the. I mean the cold. If we don't find a way out of the cold, we're gonna die.
I've been the naked many times.
Theo also wants to go over and press the runes on the door. Just like
I'll follow Theo.
Don't look at me like that, old bones. I'm talking about the cold here. I know this situation is odd.
All right, Calder, Theo, you want to give me an Arcana check?
Oh God.
Oh, here we go.
Can I look between their legs at the runes too?
Oh God!
I'm gonna move my loincloth off to the side and look at his face between my legs. You might want to be careful down there.
So I'm running that. That's effectively the help action. They look arcane, unscrutable to the two of you. Could be spell work. They're certainly lined up that way, or in a way that would make sense, but you're not sure exactly what it would be.
Orson yells over to him and says, "Try flame on."
Well, I think we gotta still just keep on getting those rocks out of the way. I don't see really another way out of here.
Maybe you said, Corey, how high is this?
Roughly 30 feet to the top of the chamber.
Oh, we're so stupid.
Theo wants to look behind him too, and just basically says like, "Hey, this is arcane nonsense to me. Unfortunately, Are any of you more well versed?
Well,
I'm a father.
I'm I'm not really knowledgeable about arcane stuff, but I am intelligent of some degree.
Normally, I'm okay in the arcane. I'm just so damn cold.
Yeah, the walls. I know where you're going, Orson. The walls are not particularly climbable. This is an icy cave. It's slick. It doesn't look like you could get to the top.
I
Sure.
think there's one way out of here, guys. I think you need to throw me out, and I'll lower the hamper home.
Maxwell's gonna try to put his hand on the disc that they, or like the layer, I guess, that they put their hand on.
Sure, you get the same treatment they did. Flashes of your life, those horrible days in prison, days spent poring over the books with your father. Yeah, all kinds of key memories from your past.
I'm gonna head to the door and try to read any of the runes to see if I can understand anything else.
You recognize this is definitely spell work of some sort. You're not familiar with exactly what it is. It's you recognize some of it from some of the tomes and journals that you explored in the lighthouse.
Well, I'm not gonna die in here, freezing in a loincloth. Might as well keep moving stone. I'm gonna walk back over to the entryway and start hucking stone again.
Okay. Just to speed things along a little bit, I'm going to say you keep doing so, and short of any other obvious opportunity presenting itself, you do so until one by one, each of you expire. From cold, from starvation, from I don't know, infighting, until there is not a one of you left in the room.
Did we just die again?
We just died again. What?
What the actual fuck, Corey?
What?
There is only white. Every blemish slept away, clean, limitless, eternal.
What the fuck?
The tiniest blue hue peeks into your vision, a spot, a stain on this perfect white landscape. More of it appears, drip, drop, raindrops on the edge of consciousness, color winking in and out, spinning. Images from your youth, memories fly by. You remember being in this cave and dying again. And there's something else, a memory you can't quite put a finger on that feels both impossibly old and also new. As though this canvas of your life were being viewed through stained glass, adding a layer of color that wasn't there before. You awaken, standing around the sphere as you did before. Naked as before, though less bleary-eyed this time. Drip, drop. Each impact echoes through the cavern, tiny cries for companionship answered by their brethren as they all march down in rivulets seeking a promise of peace, whispered by gravity's siren song from beneath the rubble. Maxwell, something feels off this time. A persistent queasiness, the feeling of needing to vomit, but it never comes. Despite the cold air, your skin is clammy, the sweat almost sticky. Perhaps more interestingly than that, though, your expired bodies remain on the ground where you passed away. Decay has begun to set in a little bit, though the cold seems to have kept it from advancing so rapidly that you can't identify yourselves. A third life. How strange this all is. You all have access to your class abilities and a vague, intuitive understanding of what you're able to do, but you're not entirely sure why or how. What are you doing this time around?
What? I'm going to walk over.
Your faces are fucking gold.
I'm going to walk over to my own corpse and flip it over. I'm going to remove its loincloth and place it back upon myself. I'm going to grab the battle axe and the ring, and then I'm going to pick Calder's bald head up and stare at my own dead eyes and just go, What in the actual fuck is this?
What? Well, I guess if we die enough, maybe we could pile our bodies to the roof.
Feels like it would take ages.
I don't think
I
that's
grabbed-
it.
Is the
my
skeleton back
flashlight.
on? Is the skeleton back like a robed and everything like that, or is it
No.
still? Okay, cool.
The
Just
robe.
making sure.
You are
Orson goes and
wearing.
gets-
Orson's wearing the robe. Yeah, everything is as you left it in this room.
Orson goes and
Okay.
gets his apron and his robe again before anybody else takes them.
Look at Maxwell. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
This is just a theory, but when we touched the orb, our memories, they were shown to us. How did it have a memory?
How?
When we die, right? This is the second time. It replays everything. Remember? Maybe this is what's. If I don't know if it's keeping us alive, but there's something to this. And
I feel different this time. Does anybody else feel different?
wait a second. I'm gonna run over here and say the same inscription again.
You get a fire elemental once again.
What is going on?
Wait,
This can't be real, right?
can that thing open the door?
Yeah, the man. Come on. Can please?
It goes over to the door and kind of presses its body against it. No effect. Punches the door with its flaming fists. No effect.
Well, time to get back to heaving some rocks, I guess.
That's a difference.
And Theo is going to go ahead and touch the disc again this time. He didn't do it the first time, but just basically like to try to figure out what the heck's going on.
Yeah, same thing. You get flashes of working on the farm, of sweeping Droom, the entryway to Droom's temple. All these moments of your life flashing by, as though this thing is, whatever this is trying to figure out who you are.
I'm gonna snap my fingers. Pebble?
No pebble.
Damn it!
What is it with you and these small rocks?
It's my penguin. You'll see him when push comes to shove. There you go.
Still trying to understand what a goddamn penguin is.
It's a little blue thing, right? With a white belly and flippers to swim. And then it's a bird. You know what a bird is? It's like that, but it can't fly. It swims. And it's tiny.
Sorry, I
I
still don't
get it.
understand.
Okay, I give up.
The elemental goes back to its brazier, seemingly more comfortable there. Its tendrils flickering harder into the tunnels on the eastern edge this time.
I'm going to ask him, what do you think we should do to get out of here?
I'm but a servant in this place,
Why are you here?
because you called me.
What did I? But who put you here?
I don't understand.
Why am I a master?
You summoned me.
I don't even know what I read. I'll reread the thing to see if I can understand it now.
Yeah, you as you go to look into the brazier this time, and while last time you were just sort of saying these things, like you can pronounce French even if you don't speak it necessarily. This time you have an intuitive understanding that this is some sort of spell bound into this thing that called to this creature here.
Des is just at the wall, like clawing away any small rocks.
Wait, Maxwell, can you read the runes at the door?
Maybe. I go up there.
The runes are no, you don't have any specific wording in the runes. It's spell work for sure, but it's beyond anything that you've touched.
It's a spell. That's all I can read right now.
God damn it, I'll tell you what, I'm about tired of dying. Freezing to death wasn't very fun. Let's get moving rock. I'm gonna go right back to the hallway and start humping rock again.
All right. To speed it along, I'm gonna say that you do end up making it through the rocky tunnel this time around. It goes about 10 feet in before you start to see the arch on the other side of this short little hallway. And that's reveal. You come into or open up a passage to a second room. This elemental at this point will be gone once again. The light.
Corey, sorry to interrupt. It looks like the stream is not catching up with the imaging.
It will. It seems like it takes, 8-10 seconds or something for it to catch up. I watched this when I initially switched over to this map before. It took it a minute for whatever reason.
Okay.
So you open up this second chamber. Light from the first one is spilling in. There's more rubble in here. This one appears to be hey, where'd you go? Where'd you come from? Appears to be perhaps an armory of some sorts. There are armor racks, there are weapon racks, there are a couple chests. There's a repair table in the far corner. This is definitely a stockpile of weapons and armor, and a lot of it is still present. There are swords and masks and staves and shields, all kinds of stuff strewn about this room.
I am going to, with a smile on my face, drop the battle axe, remove the loincloth, and walk in here ready to outfit myself.
Okay, you can find pretty much anything you want in here.
Anything we want?
And yeah, if you want to take the time to don a suit of full plate, you can find that in here. You can find a great sword, you can find shields, whatever. Like, this is an army level equipment room. And the suits of armor and everything are not I was just going to say, they're not uniform. It's not like these are all manufactured at the same time. Some of them, like some of the belts, appear to be like scaled. There's this crazy mask that looks like a black dragon's face. There's a mace that has like a skull where the head of the weapon would be. There's this intricate, like beautifully woven greenish cloak on a stand. There's all kinds of crazy stuff in here.
Is there just clothes?
Clothes, weapons, armor, all kinds of things.
I would clothe myself.
Yeah.
Foremost, clothing.
Yes. Maybe find some boots or something.
Sure.
Some silk boxer briefs.
Yeah.
In the spirit of Calder, right? I feel more comfortable in armor that is somewhat mismatched. I'm going to find a bunch of different like plate mail and scale mail. Can I take the time to like dismantle a few pieces and create a mismatched piece of gear?
Sure. Yeah, you can grab little bits and pieces here and there.
Like, like a black pauldron, a silver like just I like to be mismatched. It makes me feel like I've crafted something myself or comparable to something I've crafted.
The rest of you, as you are putting on miscellaneous pieces of gear, you find that they seem to be perfectly sized to your bodies. Calder, they're not so perfectly sized for you. Like, you're grabbing pieces here and there, and like you can sort of make them fit. But the fit on the other 4 people around you is like It's perfect. It's like it was made for them.
Even Dez.
Even Dez.
Hmm,
Like
that's interesting.
Dez grabs a cloak that is twice his height, but when he puts it on, it seems to fit him perfectly.
That's cool.
Well, that's a nifty
That's
feature.
sick. Can I find any like overalls and
Overalls are lacking from this area, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
anything with a big pocket?
Do you guys have the party loot sheet open?
No.
No, I do not.
Okay, well, you might want to go take a look at it at some point. Let's not spend too terribly much time going over all this crazy shit, but
Okay, we just have stuff.
there are some toys to play with, yeah.
Oh
Or some
wow.
kids.
Okay.
Dressed.
Oh wow.
Dang!
Wow.
All right, everybody's
what?
saying, wow.
Okay.
I gotta-
What? Anyway.
Everything in this room, I'm going to assume that eventually you're going to spend time to figure out what this stuff is, so I'm just going to give you the names of it now for simplicity's sake.
Holy shit. Okay.
There are rubbled passages to the north and south out of this room, both similarly blocked to the one that you just came through. The one to the east is a little more open. Like you got to climb over a few rocks, but it looks like you could squeeze your way through it.
Me being my halfling form. Well, this seems like a place I can fit in. And I dive in.
Where's my fog button? Here we go. Okay,
Oh,
you
the die.
as you start making your way through this passage, you see that the room is lit on the far side here into what appears to be a kitchen, like a living area, sort of. There are tables. There's a giant furnace. There is a cauldron that is still heated from underneath somehow. Excuse me. There is there are foodstuff pantries, like a pantry in the southeastern corner. There's a barrel of water with some water skins next to it in the northwest. This is definitely a place people have spent their time. And aside from the enormous rock sitting in the center of the room, looks relatively untouched.
Does it look like people left in a hurry or might have left in a hurry?
No, it doesn't. The only the one interesting thing that does catch your eye is there is can I do just a pencil line to draw? Brush. There is a can I change colors even? Awesome. Okay. There is a reddish streak that runs between these two doors.
And might be blood.
Probably blood.
Well, guys, I think here's a great place to stop and eat and fill our bellies, but be careful. I think there's blood around these parts. You're muted, Dan.
Having seen a large amount of blood before, is this in fact blood? Does it look like blood?
It does look like blood, yeah. Yeah, looks like blood. Looks like something drug.
Can I tell the direction in which it was drug?
Can you give me a survival check?
I certainly can.
Is it dry?
Yeah, it is dry.
It just seems like one of the most important things.
Yeah. Seven. What did you ask? Which direction it had been drug?
Just looks like blood.
It does just look like blood. There are smear marks left, right, forward, back. Hard to say.
Okay.
There are no bodies evident right here.
Is there any hardtack in this room?
Absolutely, yeah. You can see in the southeast corner there are shelves that look like they have a number of bags and all kinds of stuff. Where did I put it? I forget where it is. Somewhere in here, there's a barrel of like you open up the barrel lid and it's salt, and you open
Or
up
like
the next
maybe over
barrel.
here or
Yeah, the
something.
next barrel next to it, and it's filled with what was probably meat at one point, like cured meat. But there's just kind of like dust in the bottom of the barrel. But you can find flour and all kinds of other stuff in the
Okay.
pantry. Go ahead and give me an investigation check. See what you turn up in here as you're scrounging for sustenance.
Since we starved to death. Investigation. It's 5.
Oof. As you're sifting through the pantry-ish area, you find not much that looks like it still has a lot of nutritive value, but you do find a little satchel that has a bunch of small red berries in it that seem to be in perfect condition.
Alright. Berries.
I guess Des will step towards this door. Is this door open?
Is which door? Sorry, the north one.
The
Yes,
north
the
one,
north
yeah.
door is open.
I will look down that hallway.
Okay, yeah. Looking in, you can see kind of like a desk in the middle of the room. Looks like there may be a bookshelf in the back corner of it. You don't see anything else obvious from this angle. There's like a book or some paperwork or something on top of the desk. Looking down the other hallway to the south where Theo is, there's on the north and south rooms, there is a notable change from stone to wood. Like there's a decided aesthetic difference to these side areas here. The one on the south side looks like it might branch into a couple other rooms, but nothing really visible from here.
I'll just walk into the north room.
Okay. As you do so,
I died.
Des, don't get too far away. Like Theo, like kind of like
sorry.
the room up here is looks like it also suffered the fate of this cave-in a little bit. Everything in here, pretty much except for the central desk, is ruined and broken, and weirdly pockmarked with holes, like little drill holes horizontally into the bookshelf, into the walls, into everything. This shelf in the corner is collapsed. There are books on the ground. It looks like there might have been something that had liquid in it at one point. There's shattered glass. The liquid has dripped down and sunk into the cracks of the stone at its base. On the desk lies a book and kind of a flat-bottomed glass orb resting next to it, along with some quills and ink and things like that. It's like a large paperweight, sort of.
I'll just look at the book. I'll jump on the desk, I guess, by using like a rock as a jumping off point.
Sure.
And then
yeah, you hop up on the desk, and before you even get to the book, you notice that on the ground behind the desk there is a body lying on the ground. Also
Theo, there's a body in this room too. Is it skeletal?
It is skeletal.
It looks like another skeleton. How like what type of species does this look like?
Looks
Like race, I guess, is what I'm asking.
looks probably human.
Well, I didn't kill him, just to let you know, Theo. I just found the body.
Are the three of you in the other room doing anything, or at Des's scream, are you gonna pause for a second?
Orson. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Orson.
I was gonna say, is this like a stove that I'm standing by, essentially?
It is,
Oven?
yeah.
Orson's gonna put his hand out and say, "Flame on!"
This piece of machinery, unfortunately, does not appear to have an on-off word.
I don't have magic.
I'm
Calder
sorry.
is going to kind of drag his boot across this dried blood, and newfound greatsword in front of him. First, I have to ask, what's the make of this greatsword?
The one that you're holding, it's steel. It looks well made.
Okay. No fancy like designs that would be relevant to me. Just a well-made greatsword.
For now,
Generic, so to speak.
This is a standard greatsword.
Okay, I will greatsword in front of me as I often hold it, fairly stoically when I'm approaching any potential battleground. I'm going to drag my boot across this dried blood and attempt to follow it into this hallway, ignoring the very high-pitched screams of the halfling behind me.
Okay. The blood continues down and winds into the room on your right.
I am going to approach the room and look inside.
Okay, we're going to pause right there for a second. Dez and Theo on the other side. Let's continue with you for a moment. Or actually, Maxwell, you haven't spoken up. Are you doing anything here?
I'm just after he screams, gonna check into the room. And yeah, I'm just gonna be looking around, seeing if anything like particular sticks out or anything. But
okay, Orson, anything? Are you cooking?
He's still looking around, trying to find like provisions, water.
Okay. As
food,
you're
things.
looking around here,
messing around. Yep.
Okay. This cauldron looks like it is ready to cook on. The fire is already running, although there doesn't seem to be any fuel underneath it. There's just a flame crackling up.
Okay.
And the barrel in the corner is filled with fresh water. There are a few water skins hanging on the wall next to it.
Okay. Well, while they're exploring, if there's enough time, you probably fill up the water skins. Maybe set them out on the table where Maxwell is there. Just
okay, sure.
One per person or whatever, just to have them ready.
This is all timey-wimey-ish. So we'll say, yeah, you're filling water skins, and as you're dipping these into the barrel to fill them, you could swear it's got to be a trick of the eyes. You could swear you see the water almost like climbing up into the water skin just a moment before you push it underneath the surface. Like you're going down that way anyway, but it's almost like the water lifts itself up at your will and goes into the bin. Probably just a trick of the light or something. Dez and Theo up there. What are you doing with this body?
I look at the body. Is he just laying down on the ground?
It is. Yes, it is laying on the ground.
Are there like any bones broken in a specific part of the body?
The give me a medicine or investigation, your choice. Theo, if you want to help him with this, you can.
A lot better.
Sure. And I was going to say, I think I missed it. What state of decay is this body? Is this dead body in?
It is fully skeletal.
Fully skeletal.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I've got medicine. So 16.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't look like there are any bones broken per se. Theo, as you're checking this thing out, you notice, the pock marks on the walls around here are pretty obvious to the eye. Looking at this body, you can see those same little like drilled pock marks in some of the bits of bone, particularly around the face.
And it's with lining that up and everything like that. Is that kind of more or less where Dez is standing? Like the pock marks lighting it up, because I'm assuming that it's a trapped wall at this point. Just like fucking, it's like
those marks are along every wall in this room, along the ceiling. There are some along the floor. Like everything in this room is Swiss cheesed a little bit.
And there's no other obvious exits out of this room.
There is a ruined tunnel to your west, a tunnel to the east, both of them quite filled with rubble. As you are scanning about the room, in this bottom right corner on this desk, there is also, back down in here, there is a small glass jar, like a little cylindrical jar, that is pulsing with a greenish light and seems to be filled with liquid. Just a gentle little.
Des, do you know what that is?
I don't believe I've ever seen anything like that before.
Then I think we might want to get out of here. It's like one of the things that he would have grabbed was a shield.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like it does not seem safe in this room still. Watch your step.
Well, there's a cool little container. I would love to take it. I think it might be valuable.
As you guys are chatting here, Calder, this is about the time you get to this doorway here. The door itself, as you're approaching it, is ruined. It's like hanging off of its hinges. The bedrooms, apparently on either side, are very nicely appointed, and like come with intricate rugs. It looks like there are paintings on the walls and things, but you're not quite able to take in the appreciation, or you're not quite able to appreciate them, as when you round the corner, a huge bear is waking up and staring back at you. Just an enormous, shaggy brown bear with a little cub next to it sleeping on the bed. As you round the corner, it opens up with just a roar of "Get the fuck out of my house." What are you doing?
I'm going to just swing the greatsword out in front of me, tip pointed at it, and I'm going to start to back up down the hallway and just go, I might need a little fucking help here.
It doesn't seem to give any pause. Stands up to its full height. Its head is like hitting the ceiling of the room a little bit, and roars at you again as it slams its feet back down onto the ground and starts approaching out of the room here. Are you standing your ground, or are you getting out?
No. I'm backing up down this hallway and go, guys.
Real quick, is it just me or did Calder's? Yeah, okay. I was gonna say the image rotated, and I was like, wait a minute.
Everybody's spinning in their graves.
I'm going to, at the end of this hallway, though, as I'm yelling for everybody, who I'm assuming heard this roar,
Absolutely.
I'm going to get down on a knee, and I'm going to jam the pommel of my greatsword against the knee that's on the ground, and hold the blade up towards this bear, so that if it charges me, it impales itself.
Okay. It is. Oh, go ahead.
On the way out of the room, I'm gonna grab the green thing and then follow Theo out.
Okay.
Oh, that was not a good okay.
Okay, we're going to.
Oh God,
how
what
are we
did
going
I
to do this? Okay, Des, you this bear Calder down south. I'm all over the place here. It is like, it doesn't fit in this hallway. It is like squeezing itself forward. There is no chance of it like charging out here. This is very much like it is squeezing into its den. But it continues to like move forward, and it's swatting the ground and making like all kinds of aggressive gestures at you.
Do I feel like if I walked up to it right now, it could hit me, or is it stuck enough that like it would have trouble attacking me?
I don't know. Would you like to walk up to it and find out?
Oh, shit. Yeah, you know what? Yes. Surveying the situation, I understand that I'm not going to get a better opportunity to kill this thing than I am right now in this squeezed off little hallway as opposed to the giant room behind me. I'm going to raise my greatsword, charge forward, and swing down violently.
Okay. Go ahead and pause right there for a second because that's going to be a combat starting thing. Theo and Dez on the north side of the room here. Dez, you grab as you guys are running out the room. You see that glowing jar, and it's calling to you. There's something good in there. You don't know what it is. You put your hand on the glass, and as soon as you start to jostle it, the liquid rises up out of the glass and starts spinning around angrily. You can hear it sloshing about. It almost seems like it's alive somehow. I'm going to go ahead and unhide that. Everybody, please. Can I do both of these at once? I guess not. Go ahead and roll initiative for me.
Oh, good lord.
Question, Corey.
Yeah.
Were we allowed to equip any of the magical items or no?
Yes, but without attuning to them, you're not going to get much value out of it. So
That is true.
So yes, but no.
Yes, but no.
I just
Also-
removed everything.
Is it just me, or do we have no music?
There's no music on.
Yeah, I don't hear
Okay.
I suck at music, you guys. There's supposed to have been this like soft cavey music and like feet on gravel and dripping water and all kinds of crap going on in here.
Oh, I just assumed it was like eerily quiet. Like
Yeah. That's
Well,
what I thought.
No, it's been going great. It's been fine.
I guess that
Well,
makes
it's a good thing that your storytelling doesn't suck, because what the fuck is going on?
Here,
Yeah, right.
we'll add a little uncomfortable
You're the
music
one-
to the background for this.
you're the one attacking a bear.
Perfect opportunity.
Once we get big
in the hallway.
and everything, then you'll have someone that you send the cues to, like someone is sitting there in the background, just
exactly.
like take care of all you.
Exactly. I need a tech minion. Any volunteers?
Yeah, chat. We're taking applications for tech minions.
So from where is the sheet here? Okay. So top of the round. Can you guys see the names of the creatures in the combat tracker?
Question marks.
Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Interesting. Okay. Dez, you as you grab this thing, this greenish goopy liquid rises up out of it and starts spinning like just rapidly. Little bits and pieces of it are flying off and striking into the walls, and you hear a sizzle with each hit. As it does, you can hear it like revving up and starting to go big. Can I get a dexterity save from you, please?
Sure thing.
Quick question, Corey, if you don't, I'm sorry. I should have asked this earlier, but was I able to find any holy symbols in all that equipment and stuff like that?
There were no holy symbols in that room.
Strictly
Strictly equipment.
well, okay.
Yeah, I know. If you find a different room in this complex.
Anything's a holy symbol if you try hard enough.
Dez, I am sorry, but that is not going to cut it.
I die again.
Oh no! We're gonna get enough bodies. We're gonna get enough bodies to climb out of
You
here.
are definitely going to get enough bodies to climb out of here. Dez, I'm sorry, but you are going to drop to 0 hit points off of this hit.
What?
Wait, am I outright dead or am I just unconscious?
You are unconscious at 0. Theo, you are fortunately in the doorway and spared this trauma, but you hear and see Dez shriek with pain as these acidic bolts strike him and start just like burn him to the ground a little bit. Orson.
I don't like our.
I really have no idea what's going on other than hearing yelling. I'm assuming.
I was making a soup.
Let's see. I probably would just move to about here so I can see more and maybe just hold an attack action if I get the opportunity.
Okay, sounds good. Dez, I'm sorry, you are down. Will you make a death save for me, please?
Yes. Wait, how do I make a
Damn.
death save?
First death save of the campaign.
Is it just a d20?
Yeah, if there's no button for it, yeah, just a d20.
There should be a button for it. I thought, like over there by damage and everything, or
Your health is gone. I thought it gave it to you.
It says failure, successes, death saves, but it's not giving me a button. I'll just roll it.
Oh, I thought there was a button to
Hey,
press.
Corey,
to
check
roll
your
it.
Discord really quick.
All right.
I got a 6. Ugh.
That's
Damn.
not good.
First fail. Gonna die again, guys. Gotta roll up a new character.
Get in that one, you
Yeah,
die.
you're right. I got to figure that out. I don't know why. Okay. Bear. Actually, you know what, Calder? You started this whole thing, so I'm going to give you an attack here.
Okay.
Basically at the top of the round.
I have a feeling that I'm gonna die anyway. Okay. Oh, it didn't add. Hold on 1 second.
Damn, I rolled good on my initiative too.
I know. I'm sorry. This is a brutal opening. I promise. I'm just setting the stage for the narrative themes of the campaign.
Which are repeated death of the
Yes,
party
death.
members.
I'm tutorializing the rebirth.
There you go.
somebody in chat earlier had said it's like a roguelite.
Yeah, the
That's
rogues
perfect.
right now.
I rolled an 8, sir.
Okay. Oh, I didn't see your roll come in. Weird. Okay, an 8 is not going to cut it. So this bear, now with it being smashed into this cave here, it does make its attack with disadvantage. So that's good for you. Why aren't... Oh, I wasn't scrolled all the way to the bottom. That's why I wasn't showing. But that's still going to come up with an 18 on the hit.
Well, let's see here.
Oh, yeah, what armor did you put on, bud?
Can't find my armor. Hold on 1 second.
Well,
This
I'll
is
tell you what.
embarrassing.
If you grabbed full plate, it would have been 18. So this should hit.
It
no
does
matter
hit,
what,
yes.
I think. Okay.
Yep.
Then if you would kindly be taking 10 damage.
Okay.
It swipes its claws forward as you come in for the attack. It kind of like ducks back, and your sword goes into the wall, and it comes back with some claws, and it just like rakes not through the armor, but those long nails catch like in all of the little crevices, and gut you a little bit. Maxwell, you're up.
I'm going to zone in on this bear because that's all I can see right now, and I'm just gonna like feel this like new power coursing through me, and I'm gonna cast Mind Sliver on the bear.
Okay.
Oh, full damage.
Damn.
And then I'm going to Metamagic Quicken Spell. I took the Metamagic Adept feat. I will quicken that spell and cast Dissonant Whispers.
Okay. Which means it needs a whiz save, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is going to be a 6.
Nice.
So he uses his reaction to retreat, right?
If available to move as far as its speed allows away from you, the creature doesn't move up. Yeah.
Okay. So Calder, you're going to get an attack of opportunity on this.
Oh, hell
Not from-
yeah.
And
Not from fourth movement, though, right?
It's not force movement.
it's not
its
force
own-
not?
movement. Yeah, it's
Oh, it uses its
oh,
reaction.
7,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
What?
Yeah.
20,
It's
Yeah.
not force movement.
30,
Interesting.
25, 30. That is as far
Oof.
away from you as it can get at the moment.
Dang, these rolls take forever.
I know. I don't know
Nice.
what's taking so long. It's weird.
I feel like
21.
It's fine.
21
Not better than
hits.
the first.
All right, let's roll that slashing damage.
It's hurt. It's yellow.
Come on.
Like it was going, it was
Taking a
going
while.
so fast in the pre-sessions.
It was. I am going to re-roll that one.
Okay.
Oh god, another roll. Dang, it takes so
It's the
long.
Alaska Wi-Fi.
That's untrue. I have better internet than you, sir.
8 plus.
I will take that one.
All right.
Oh,
So still 9 damage.
Okay. Cool. It that put a chunk on it. Between the two of you, it is hurting. You got a big gash like along its back as it was retreating there. Theo, you're up.
You allow me to be a little thematic. Let's see here.
Theme away.
Because that's the whole thing. Like he just sees Dez go down and just like, and just no, and he grabs Dez and like pulls him back, and like he's gonna drag him back into the other room.
Yeah. So you've got basically
part
half
of-
movement.
What's that?
So you can drag him basically at half movement.
Okay, perfect. And like he kind of is like panicking and just like as he's holding him, he's like, no, and going to lay on hands to heal 1 damage. Just not again.
To heal
Nice.
one.
Nice. That's awesome.
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
Des, you are back up with 1 HP.
Sweet.
Okay. Calder.
Okay. Oh man. I guess first thing I will bonus action second wind. Placing my hand upon my chest, taking a deep breath, and trying to focus on staying alive.
Okay.
Staying alive.
That's
Staying-
exactly
I
what
knew
I
it
thought.
was
Well,
let's see
that's
here.
that's way too old for you, man. No.
All right, let's see if this
We don't
guy
own rights
would
to that.
ever- All right, so healing for 7 hit points, and
Nice.
then how ridiculously stupid do I want to be? Okay, I will step outside of this hallway, and I will raise my greatsword above my head, and I will hold my action for this bear comes walking out the hallway. I'm swinging down,
Sounds good.
or the cub. I am ruthless enough to kill a bear cub.
Okay. Back to the top then. This swirling vortex of acidic energy, seemingly pissed off at being woken up. 15
Oh no.
comes
Des.
Again.
comes wandering out of the room. Is this is a melee attack. I need to roll a
Oh
d6.
no, he's prone.
Sorry, I meant to pull him behind me, but it's a little late now.
You can have drug him to the side at least.
Okay.
Um,
Because that was the whole thing. I wanted to get him out of harm's way.
okay.
that
Well
would
then,
have made sense.
then
You
he can
can't
get 5
save
feet
him
closer.
now.
It does recharge its acid thing. I'm sorry to say. Happens on a 5 or a 6 proof.
Damn.
Can I get dexterity saves from everyone but Calder, please?
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Uh,
I'm so sorry, guys.
And I'm the idiot for fighting the bear.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm going to use because I got wait. Why isn't it showing my 5?
Can't even shield.
I'm gonna use silvery barbs,
Okay.
and so I'll give myself advantage. The acid thing disadvantage, so I can.
It's not an attack roll.
Oh, I can't use silvery barbs only for attack rolls.
It changes a d20 roll. It's making you guys roll saves. And I
Mhm.
believe it is only for attack rolls.
Oh,
17.
Yes, it's attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. But I was trying to give myself advantage and the creature disadvantage, but I can only give myself disadvantage and something else advantage. So
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah, essentially. Okay. Orson, wow, you guys rolled terribly.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's my second one of the night.
Orson, you passed. You are going to take 7 damage.
Oh no!
I'm gone.
The rest of y'all are taking 14 acid, please.
Oh my god, man!
Last time, I promise.
Hey guys, let's just not touch anything.
It's like you walked into a story that's way
I was
beyond you.
Trying to get you guys some food.
I was making sandwiches.
Literally starved to death.
Orson, you're up.
Yes.
Robert, do your own HP.
Oh, I do. Oh, how do I kill myself?
Just change your HP to 0.
Oh, okay.
Orson, you're up.
Orson's going to. Well, I suppose everybody's dead. I can run over my own friends, huh? Boop, 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 boop. I'll go try and punch this thing that just acided me.
All right.
Why not?
Your hand burns, you die.
Orson goes running to him. And just weirdly looks at his hands and he's like, "All right, 20,
Nice. Hits.
5 damage."
All right. Its weird amorphous form kind of absorbs part of the blow, but yeah, you strike it.
How do I?
Change your character sheet, and then
Oh, on my character sheet, I was trying to change my token.
Yeah.
You can do it on the
not
token too,
letting
I
me
think.
it's not
Off
letting me
hand.
change mine.
Oh,
Punch
weird.
him with the other hand.
Okay. Also
Unarmed
hits.
strike. 22. 7 damage.
Nice.
Damn.
Okay. Yeah. You
Oh, wow.
you pow. Your fist just kind of like knocking this green oozy stuff around. That was that, and then bonus. All right, the bear is up. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. It is pissed off. It's going to dash its way out of the room. So Calder, your action triggers.
Okay.
Got its head off. Not gonna have my robe to wear this time.
For glory. Slowest dice roll ever.
I feel like my dice rolls are really quick. They're showing me
Yeah.
the way. Yeah.
I think it's only Dan. So.
That's an 8.
Not so much. Distracted by everything going on the north side of the room, you were a little late on the downswing as this thing came out. But that is all it can do right now. Des,
I have to roll
Maxwell,
death save.
Theo, go ahead and roll death saves and do whatever is appropriate there. Calder, you're up.
Okay.
Oh,
One
I got a
second.
one.
I have reset my
A 1, a
My
critical
browser.
fail.
Oh,
Oh, he's actually dead.
this helps
No, he
the
takes
thing.
he has
Okay.
2 failures.
You just two
Yeah,
failures.
One more.
Okay, let's see. Well,
2. What's
All right.
going on?
having seen that everybody is going down, and even though I don't know these people, I do feel as though the last year of my life has been spent becoming somewhat selfless, understanding that I need to serve others, and I'm saddened by these individuals falling before me. I'm going to step up onto this table and leap off at the bear, swinging downward with my greatsword.
Okay. The suspense.
And resetting the browser did not reset my dice roll. I will have to try to figure that out.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I
15.
need to attune
That'll do
myself
it.
to the dice in this system.
15
Did you
hits.
say nice?
15 hits. Okay, swing and damage. I'm the only one it's rolling this slow for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm going
Oof.
to Wow, I'm gonna re-roll one of those ones.
Good idea.
Dang. Just takes so long.
Oh,
Nice.
Hey, there you go.
Okay.
All right.
worth.
Yeah, you bring it down on the bear's shoulder. It grunts and sags at the pain. It is not looking good at all. But this thing across the room, this acidic creature, is up again. Orson, it lashes out two like green oily tendrils at you. First one's going to be an 11 to hit. I think misses. Second one is going to be a 16 to hit.
That's the AC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then it's not going to matter because you have 1 HP left. You also drop.
See you later.
And the thing moves menacingly forward toward the other two living things in the room. Because there's really only one way this goes, Calder, I'm going to give you one more attack. See what you want to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, whoa, good God.
Do you want to try and kill the bear?
Oh, yeah, yes, I do.
Okay. It's possible.
Suspense.
The suspense of the
Roll
slow
on the
moving
dice.
dice. Which I'm actively trying to find a fix for right now.
22.
Oh, yeah.
22. All right, let's swing this damage and see if I can avoid a 1 here, fellows.
right. You need a total of 9.
Oh boy.
Come
Oh,
on.
come on.
You got a good
Let's
chance
go.
here.
You got to good. You got to
That's
get it.
killing me.
Dead bear.
It's the small victories, boys.
It
It's the
is.
small
You
victories.
won the battle, but not the war.
Yeah,
There
as
go.
you
And then I will pull my greatsword in close to my chest and just bow my head to this ooze, understanding that I'm gonna fucking die right now.
and that is exactly where you go, or where this goes next. It strikes you down, but who knows? Maybe you'll come back more powerful than it could have ever imagined.
Level 2.
Level 2. Hey, congratulations! You died a whole lot. Here's some XP.
You killed the bear.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna put you guys back over here.
Oh.
If you want to,
Yeah.
if you want to
Reload save.
put your HP back up to max,
And equip yourselves.
you'll be able to.
Again.
You'll be
Oh my
able to
god,
find
that's
your
so
stuff.
true.
You'll be able to find your stuff again pretty quickly, so don't worry about it this time around.
Okay.
The
Delete your inventory. Oh,
I'm gonna make this.
I don't like this game anymore.
I'm sorry.
There we go. Oh, I like it. It's fun.
No, I know. I just say if you is like, delete your inventory. It's like, I don't like this game anymore.
It's too much bookkeeping.
Inventory management.
There is
That's the game.
only white. Every blemish swept
Jesus.
away. A blue hue stains your vision, dripping, etc., etc. The dripping is replaced with a steady trickle of water from the pinpoint of light above and reforming into a small stream that vanishes beneath the rubble. You stand naked in the now familiar chamber, the stone damp to your bare toes. Yeah, that's where we're at this time. What are you doing round 3? Your bodies from 2 times ago are in the room with you. The others presumably are where you left them.
So hear me out. Let's
Well,
go
that
ahead and grab the. I think that we should awaken this fire elemental again and go show that acid monster what for. Like Theo's not happy, and he's like stomping his way down the hallway.
That's a really good idea. I'm gonna walk up to it and repeat the flame on.
Okay. Yeah, you do so, and once again obtain a fire elementally pet. That responds once again, "Hello, master."
Nice to see you again. There's something down there that I'm gonna need your help with. So if you could follow the person in front.
As
Just
you
put
wish.
clothes. Just putting clothes on.
As
Again.
I step forward next to Maxwell, I'm just going to say, why'd you just call him a peasant?
I didn't call him a peasant. Did I say that?
Follow the peasant up front.
Follow the person up front.
Oh, you've got a strange voice.
Thank you. Appreciate that one.
And then I'll just begin marching forward, understanding that I'm going to see yet another one of my dead bodies and have to not only deal with that, but, strip my corpse again of clothes.
As you guys,
Potential dread.
It's very disturbing.
as you guys start marching forward here, the lights are flickering all over the place between the white coming out of this sphere thing, the elemental, its light casting these weird, deep, complex shadows all through the hallway here. Maxwell, as you start to step into the hallway, one of these dark shadows falls across you, and you feel it like latch onto your arm. Like you can feel just there's nothing there. You feel this shadow like grab your forearm as though it has substance.
Can I? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you start to pull away, and suddenly you hear whispers from the darkness. Familiar whispers all around. They're lurching forward. Looking around, this entire hallway is like loaded with shadow, and you launch yourself back, partly out of fear, partly out of what the fuck is going on again. They're dripping down from the hole in the ceiling where the shadow grabbed you on the arm. There's like a handprint of darkness that is starting to very slowly spread across your skin, a slick, oily sheen starting to spread. What are you doing?
What the heck is this? Look! It's coming up my arm! And I'm gonna cast Firebolt on it.
You guys see nothing except his panicked reactions.
And firebolting himself.
You point your hand down and launch a firebolt at whatever this thing is. It singes it a little bit, but it doesn't burn it completely off of your body. As you're looking around panicked, the bones on the ground, crushed beneath this rock to the north, are giving off a familiar ghostly green light, so faint.
I'm running to that skeleton.
As you get over here, you look up. This giant boulder came from somewhere, and as you're running over there, you look up, and there's like a pit in the ceiling where this thing dislodged from that is just pure inky blackness. You can see tendrils starting to drip down toward you like spiders on threads. What are you doing with this skeleton here?
I'm gonna find the pyre that's there, I assume, if there or something that's lit.
There is nothing lit. The skeleton itself is glowing that ghostly green.
What in the fuck is going on?
I'm gonna try to touch it with my arm.
Okay, you press your arm up to the bones, and you can see the shadow. You almost hear it shriek a little bit. And the bone, as you press your body up against it, that bone crumbles to dust at your touch, but it sticks to your skin. And where it settles, your arm begins to glow a little bit. The bones on the ground continue to crumble, the powder starting to swirl up around you, around your body, engulfing your arm, engulfing your torso, your face, everything, armoring you. The oily creature that you started to burn with this thing, it like cringes, and you can feel it burrowing itself down into every single pore, down into your body. You feel it spreading itself all through your body, leaching into your bones, hiding from this ghostly green light. And as the dust settles, the glow fades, and you hear in your mind, "We're safe for a time."
What was the second word?
We're safe for a time. And I
What
think
is
that's
it?
where we're going to end tonight's session.
What?
Oh, wow.
What?
Fuck is going on?
A lot.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
A lot is going on. That's what.
I am so utterly confused right now.
And amped up, and yeah.
What?
Yeah, pretty nutty.
The idea of stripping my own corpse of clothes to put them back on is seriously fucking me up.
I told you this was going to be a doozy of a start.
This is great.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
All right. Well, thank you everybody who tuned in and for spending your evening with us. Huge thank you to D&D Beyond, Syrinscape, Above VTT for all the awesome tools that help make not just this particular game, but this hobby what it is. If you enjoyed the stream, you want to see what happens next, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, Twitch, YouTube, wherever you absorb your content. We'll be putting this into a podcast format as well for people who like to listen on the go like I do for these kinds of things. Yeah, we'll be back next Wednesday, December 7th.
And if you want to joke around and goof around with us and everything like that, we have a Discord group, and we have, we're on Twitter, on different social medias and stuff like that, where all of us, we joke around and goof around and stuff like that too. So
For sure, yeah. There are links on the website, on the Twitch stream. You can get to everything through there. So yeah, thanks. Hope you had fun. And until then, we remain your unseen servants. Dan is still
I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back.
You always come back.
Scarred for life.
I'm gonna be chasing that dragon, right? Just like the first image.
Chase the dragon, man.
Yeah,
the first hit's free, dude.
Oh,
First hit's free.
Exit.
Have a good night, everyone.
Oh my gosh. Gee,
Good evening.
Good.
that was a